안녕하십니까. YTN 한국외대 주최 제1회 초등학생 영어 토론대회 EFL 부문 마지막 라운드를 시작하겠습니다. 시작에 앞서 청중 여러분께 몇 가지 공지드리겠습니다. 첫째, 핸드폰은 진동 또는 무음으로 해주시기 바랍니다. 둘째, 지나친 응원 또는 야유는 삼가해 주시기 바랍니다. 세 번째, 디베이터들과의 의사소통이 일체 불가능하오니 표정과 손짓을 통한 사인 전달은 삼가해 주시기 바랍니다. 마지막으로 혹여 대회장에 출입 또는 퇴장을 하실 경우 스피치가 끝난 후에 이동해 주시기 바랍니다. 아이들이 현재 몹시 긴장했을 것 같은데 큰 박수로 응원해 주시고 지금부터 영어로 토론 진행하도록 하겠습니다. Welcome to the second round of EFL. Congratulations both teams for getting to this round. On government, we have team TNL. On opposition, we have team Dangover. My name is Do Hae-won. I will be your chair. To my left is Shinbi. To my right is Ha Hae-rin. The motion before the House is this House would set a quota for women in science department of all universities. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome the Prime Minister, Chung Woo-sung, to the podium. Here.
Hello, I'm the Prime Minister of the government side. I will be giving you the resolution and define it. Then I will give you my arguments. I will be giving you 2 arguments and our second speaker, which is the Deputy Prime Minister, will be giving you 1 argument. But first, I will give you the resolution. Resolved, this House would set a quota for women in science departments at all universities. For clarity, I will define the resolution. Quota, a minimum of number, and universities, the universities that we know. And now I will give you the arguments. First, women's rights. Women have rights to do things. Men and women should be the same and should be treated the same. If only there are men, women will be sad and feel bad because they can't join in because of their gender. It's a bad thing because people can't choose their gender and can't change it. It is totally unfair to women. And I will continue my second argument. My second argument is that women are very helpful. Women can do lots of things that men can't do. Men can't have babies and women are necessary in many points. Actually, in the world now, women are very necessary in everywhere. Nowadays, even some women go to the military, but why not in science departments? Women has freedom. Women are necessary, even at science departments too. Why do you think I am keep saying about this? Because women are important. Women are very helpful and same as men, so women are needed everywhere. This is why we strongly believe that the motion this House would set a quota for women in science departments at all universities should be done. And also, furthermore, women can do more than men's in actual life, and these days, women are highly smarter than some men's. And men don't actually try to do things very in their self. But women try to do what they want, and this means that women would be more effective in science departments than men. Thank you for listening.
I thank the speaker for his wonderful speech. Now I'd like to welcome the Leader of Opposition, Shim Da-som, to the podium. Here.
May I start? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the debate. Today, our motion is that this House would set a quota for women in science departments at all universities, and our team strongly disagree to the motion. First, I am going to refute their 2 arguments, and make our two arguments. First, their first argument was about that woman has same rights as the man. But even if the woman has the same rights with man, how about the less development? When we set a quota for a woman in science departments at our university, it will cause the less development. Their second argument was about that woman is helpful, but I think that the more men are helpful for other sides. First, I will make my definition. A quota is a particular amount that you are expected to have. First, I will make our first argument. Our first argument is that less development. Girls are lower at the science than boys. When we set a quota, it will cause less development science departments. So even if causes a discrimination between the boys and girls, we shouldn't set a quota for women. If we set a quota for women in science departments at all university, they can move heavy things also.
With the information?
Yes.
Well, don't you think that there will be other things what only girls can do, and the girls will be so helpful when they're studying science, what the boys can't do?
Yes, also. But I think the boys is more better than women in the size of like the boys can carry some things and I think the girls are lower at the science than boys. And also for the topic of development, I surely disagree about setting a quota for women in science departments at all university. My second argument is that distraction. It causes the distraction to the woman when we set a quota for women in science departments at all university. When the woman and boys get even in the science departments, boys will distracted by the woman who is working with them. Nowadays, many couples met in their university, and also it causes the decrease of education. When they distracted with love, they will distract and cannot work well. Also because the distraction, we strongly disagree setting a quota for women in science departments at all university. Thank you.
I thank the speaker for her wonderful speech. Now I'd like to invite the Deputy Prime Minister, Lee Yong-jun, to the podium. Here, here.
Nowadays, women are getting discriminatory treatment between men. So people are not putting women in science departments. Is this a good situation? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Deputy Prime Minister of the government team. Today, in this speech, first, I'll present the resolution and our team's introduction. Second, I'll defend our team's first argument and attack the opposition team's first argument. Finally, I'll present our team's last argument. First, I'll tell you the resolution. The resolution is this House would set a quota for women in science department in all universities. We disagree with this resolution because if we don't set a quota for women in science department, then the women are disregarded from the society. Because they can't be in science department, so we think we need to set a quota for women in science department in all universities. Next, I'll defend our team's first argument. Our team said that women need rights, but they said they don't need to have rights and they're more developed in men than women. We disagree with that argument because women are people too. Are women not people, Judge? Women are people. If women are people, they need to have rights. If they want to go science department, they need to. What happens if university reject women? Then they're breaking the law. So we think that women have rights. Next, I'll attack the opposition team's argument. They said less development. we disagree with this argument because if men are smarter than women, universities are where we learn. We learn and get skills. So that doesn't matter at all. And women are not smarter than women. They can be smarter at universities. Also, our team said that there are things only women can do. That means women can do more development than men. Lastly, I'll present our team's last argument. It is breaking the law. In the law, it said that women or men have the right to do where they want to go. But if they reject, they're breaking the law, and the university is very bad, and that is breaking the law. In conclusion, we think that we need to set a quota for women in science department at all universities. And also, we said before that also if men are smarter than women, universities are where we learn. So that doesn't matter at all. And thank you for listening to my speech.
Thank the speaker for his wonderful speech. Now I'd like to invite the next speaker, Deputy Leader of Opposition, Park Jae-hyun, to the podium. Here.
Hello, my name is Jaehyun and I'm the opponent's team, second speaker of the opponent's team. Our team strongly disagree about this House would set a quota for women in the science department at all universities. First, I will refute their third argument and rebut their first and second refutation of our first and second argument. First, their third argument was that it is breaking the law. But our team believes that it is not breaking the law. Then also the Samsung or other LG pick the men's and women's, and there are some who don't pick up. But it is not breaking the law. It is so their argument is wrong. And now I will rebut their first and second refutation. The first refutation of our first rebuttal was argument was that women's rights women are people, so women are equal, but our team is not saying the women's rights are not important. Our team is saying that but women is less good in the science than boys.
With information,
Yeah.
do you have any evidence that says that women are worse in science than men?
Yeah.
Because actually, girls and men are equal.
I
They're
have
all the same.
I have the evidence in the. According to the article in Hungary written by the Park Ji-won on the May 15th, they made a graph that boys' science skill is much better than the girls. That boys are 71% is good and girls are other 29% is good. Now I will refute their rebut their second rebuttal. Their second rebuttal was that the girls learn, the women can learn and they can be smarter, but our team believes that women can do better things like the languages or the arts. Now I will say our third argument. Our third argument is that men are better than the women in the STEM education. According to the article in the CNN in the 2014, in July 15, that Yoon Min-jung written, they said that girls' science skill is decreasing when they grow up. But if we set a quota for the women in the science departments, their science skill is low. Even though like Marie Curie, they are good scientists, but there are more scientists like Einstein or Newton, they are boys. Even we teach the girls in the science, teaching the boys are better. Also, we use the men scientists in the science departments more. That means that men are better than women in the science. Also, according to the article in the Hangyeoldae written by the Park Ji-won on the May 15th, they made a graph that boys' science skill is much better than the girls. So these are the reasons why our team believes that this house would not set a quota for the women in the science department at the all university. Thank you.
I thank the speaker for his wonderful speech. Now I'd like to invite the government whip, Lee Soo-hyun, to the podium. Here.
Imagine that you are a girl just for a second. You try to go to a science class in university, but they don't let you go just simply because you're a girl. It will be terrible, won't it? If the Korean government set a quota for women, then it will be great for the woman because it respects women's rights. This is why our team supports to the topic. Resolved, this House will set a quota for women in science department at all universities. Our team's Prime Minister defined the term quota as minimal number. Hello, fellow debaters and Honorable Mr. Madam Chairman. I am the government whip. In this speech, I will quickly review our team's 3 arguments, say some of this debate's clash points, and explain why our team won those points. First of all, I'll review our team's arguments. Our team's first argument, presented by our Prime Minister, was women's right. Women has right and it should be protected. Korean government must set a quota for women who wants to teach or learn about science at the university. If the government doesn't do it, then women's rights will not be respected and should violate human rights. Women have freedom too also. Nowadays, women are treated same like men. At least they should be. And also, women need freedom at university too. Our team's second argument, also presented by our Prime Minister, was women are needed. First of all, women are smart too. There are many intelligent women in this world. Those women will help other people in the university a lot. Why do you think that I would like to ask them, why do you think that only men are smart? There are many smart women too. Don't you know Marie Curie? And our team's final argument, presented by our Deputy Prime Minister, was violating law. Women have rights, protected by the law. Every person has the right to learn. There's freedom of education. Not letting women learning is violating freedom of education. Now that I reviewed all of our team's arguments, I'd like to say some of the clash points and explain why we won those points. The first point was, are the girls helpful? They said that the women will be distraction and boys are more helpful. But this is total nonsense. We say that there are many things boys can't do, but women can do, such as having a baby or many other stuff. Many experiences with
Question.
yes?
Why do you think that having baby is related to this topic?
Well, because it's also science. I was just doing an example. I was just doing an example of what boys can't, but girls can. Now I'll keep going on. Many experiments require women. Without women, science study will be slower. But on the other hand, if the science study require women, if they have women, then this will be faster. There will be much more things that can help the
Point of information.
No, thank you. They also said that the girls will be a distraction to the men, but this is gender discrimination. Why is it all man-based? And the second clash point of this debate was, is setting quota legal? They said that not setting quota is legal, and they shouldn't set a quota. But we say that not setting quota is illegal. Just like we keep saying, women also has right to educate or be educated. The government is trying to keep our government team is trying to protect the women's right. Imagine that you're a woman, you can't study or educate someone in the university. It would be terrible. This is not right. And if you vote for the opposition, women's rights will not be respected, and there will be sexual discrimination. But if you vote for our team, women's rights will not be violated, and many women will be happy in the university. Thank you for listening to my Thank you for listening to my speech, and please vote for the pro. Thank you.
I thank the speaker for her wonderful speech. Now I'd like to invite the opposition whip, Shin Min-jae, to the podium. Hear, hear.
Hello, my name is Min-jae, and I'm the third speaker of the opposition team. This House strongly disagrees that we should set a quota for women in science departments at all universities. In my speech, firstly, I will summarize the main 2 clash points and then briefly talk about why our team won this debate. Firstly, for the clash points, they said that their first clash points were about that is quota illegal or not, and they said they are winning this clash point. However, actually, we are winning this clash point because my partner said that it is not illegal by making some evidences, and now I will summarize the clash points of this debate. The clash point of this debate was that does woman have rights or not? We are winning this clash point because my partner said that a woman actually, we are not saying that women don't have rights, but we mean that men are more good at these educations. And also, my partner made a perfect evidence about, according to CNN, in 2014, July 15th, Yoon Min-jong said about that men are much better than girls at the education.
Information. Don't you think that if men and women help each other, the development will be increased?
My partner will say it in my last speech when to respond to that. And another clash point about this was that is woman helpful or not? And we refuted about that the men's are more helpful and the men's can do a lot of things. And they said that women can have babies or things, but men can also go to militaries and they can make our country's rights more stronger. This is why
For
our
information, what you just said for the example is what girls can do too. Girls can go to military if they want to. What do you think about this?
But men are much better than girls at military life, and then but girls they usually in the battle they can go somewhere else, and but men they're like more brave and they're like more like brave. So this is why our team still strongly believes that we should not set a quota for women in science departments at all universities. Thank you for listening.
We thank the speaker for his wonderful speech. To wrap up the case for the opposition bench, I'd like to invite the opposition reply, Kim Yoon-seo, to the podium. Here, here.
Hello, my name is Yoon-seo, and I'm the first speaker of the opposition side. I will talk about why our team is winning for 3 reasons. First, they didn't refute our first and second argument. That means that they are arguing our arguments. And secondly, our team is not meaning that women don't have rights. We are meaning the girls are less than boys. And and they said we are saying that men is only smart, and it is not wrong, but it is not our point. It is meaning the man is more good at science or technology. And they said in first speech, it is not fair and girls have same rights. But even women have same rights as men, but men is more good at like science or technology. Oh, and they said that our argument is breaking law of that, but it is good. It is not breaking law because it is good way to do what I'm good at and make a good future. Thank you for listening.
Thank the speaker for his wonderful speech. To wrap up the debate for the government bench, I'd like to invite the last speaker, government reply, Tang Hae-nim, to the podium. Here, here.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and honorable judges. I am the reply speaker from the government side. Today, this whole debate was about this house will set a quota for women in science department at all university. In this speech, I will repeat our team's 3 arguments and tell you the reason why I think our team won for this debate. Our first argument was respected women. Second argument is women are helpful, and our last argument is breaking the law. And lastly, I will present the reasons why our team won for this debate. Now I will present our first argument, which is respecting women. Our government side strongly believes that we should set a quota for women in science department at all university, because we should respect women. Because nowadays there are a lot of men in science departments. This means that right now people are thinking that men are more necessary than women at all of the science university. Women should be respected. Why do people think that men are more better than women to go to all science department at all university? This means that women are less smarter than men. But this doesn't mean that women are not necessary to go to the university. And also, it is sexual discriminating women. So it is not fair for the women, and therefore we should set a quota for women in science departments at all universities. Our next argument is women are helpful. We believe that we should set a quota for women in science because women will be helpful. Women are good at science. Women could be smarter and they really have good skills to go to the science department. So actually, women is helpful and therefore we should set a quota for women in science. And our next argument is department at all Our last argument was breaking the law. We should set a quota for women in science department at all university because not letting women are actually breaking law. In the world, there should be no sexual discrimination. People cannot change their gender, and there is no reason to do sexual discrimination to the women. Women have good things that men cannot do. Men and women is totally different. Why do people doesn't respect women as effective things? And when you imagine that you are a woman, and if you are not allowed to go to the science university, will you feel good? Absolutely not. So it will be breaking law when you do not allow women to go to the university. Therefore, we should set a quota for women in science department at all university. Since I have finished repeating our team's argument, I'll tell you why we think our team won for this debate. First, we said the necessary argument about our opinion, and also our Deputy Prime Minister refuted all the arguments, and our whip said that we found all the clashes. Therefore, I think that our team won for this debate, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, debaters, for a wonderful debate. Please cross the floor and shake hands with your opponents. Congratulations on making it to the EFL final round.